Good afternoon, you guys. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Nikki, I'm Nicole, and you are watching Life with NikiNicole. If you're new and you're watching me for the first time, hey y'all. Now listen, today we're gonna cook Sunday dinner. Now I'm not just dressed appropriate, so I will not be in the camera, so we will be doing a voiceover. But anyway, you guys, let's get into it. Today we are cooking beef tips, rice, gravy, mac and cheese, and cornbread. And I don't know, I might put some vegetables on the side, I may not, but anyway, let's get into it. I'm Nikki, I'm Nicole. Again, if you're new and watching the channel for the first time, hey y'all, hey. Comment down below, hit a like, and let me know where you are watching from. If you are true to the family, welcome back, and let's get into it. Hope you guys like it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can know every time I upload a video. Now let's get into this simple cooking. Y'all know how we do. Let's go. Peace. Okay, you guys, let's get right into it. Now we have our ingredients. We have our sour cream, we have cheese, we have a Lipton onion soup mix, seasoned blend, peppers, and onion blend, Worcestershire sour sauce, heavy whipping cream, half and half, and we also have some beef broth. And we also have some cornbread, you guys, and as you can see, I've already started. I already have our macaroni and cheese on the boil, getting ready to be mixed up. And I already have some chicken in the oven. I decided to do chicken for Cadence because I didn't think he would eat the beef tips. So we have that in the oven already as well. So let's go ahead and drop some butter in our skillet because we're about to get ready to saute our onions and peppers. So here we have some seasoned blend. Now I cook with this all the times, you guys, because I'm not one that chops up onions and bell peppers and all of that. This is just not something that I do. I'm a simple cooker and I find ways to do things simple. So that's why I use seasoned blend and other type of blends that are already chopped up. Isn't that amazing? So anyway, you guys, let's go ahead and pour in our peppers so we can go ahead and get this sauteed and looking to perfection, honey. Look how colorful it is. So let's go ahead and saute and let it cook down. I'm just gonna keep stirring. Just keep stirring because you don't want it to stick. This calls for a little attention. Alright, now that it has cooked down and it looks amazing, we're gonna go ahead and add in some minced garlic. I wanted to wait to put that in because I didn't want it to cook too fast and burn. And we're gonna do like maybe a teaspoon and a half of that, just a little bit of that, and we're gonna mix that all up and saute that as well into our onions and our peppers. So let's get into it, you guys. Alright, so here we have our beef tips. They have been marinating in the refrigerator for about 2.5 hours. They are seasoned to perfection, of course, and I have marinated them in Italian dressing. Italian dressing will tenderize your meat, you guys. I cook it with steak as well. So we've removed our onions and we're gonna go ahead and put our meat into the skillet so we can brown it. We're not gonna cook it, we're just gonna brown it really well and begin the process of cooking them. I think this is about 2 pounds of beef tips, you guys. Alright, so as it begins to brown, you know, as I was browning this, and once I got finished browning it and finished cooking it, I realized that I could have browned it a little bit more to give it a darker color, but it came out okay. So we're gonna go ahead and add some Worcestershire sour sauce for color and flavor as well. And of course, we must continue to stir, you guys. It's a must. And let's add this Lipton beef onion soup mix. We're going to use 1 pack of that and pour it into our beef tips. And we're going to mix that up real well. Y'all, the flavor came out so good, y'all. It came out so good. Look at that. Alright, so as we are getting this cooked down, we're going to go ahead and add in our onions and our peppers that we sauteed already. We're about to pour that in right now, and we're going to mix that all up together. That's going to really give it that flavor. You already have the soup mix and you got the Worcestershire sauce, and so this is just an added touch. All of it together is going to give it a banging flavor, but to each his own. Fix yours however you choose. And now we're going to add our beef broth. Since we are doing beef tips, we're going to use beef broth, or you can use water or chicken broth, whatever you choose, but it is beef, so I think we should use the beef broth. So you're going to pour that in measurement to your eye, or to however much you want. And then you're going to mix that up real good. You're going to turn down your heat. You're going to cover it, and you're going to let it simmer and cook for about 2.5 hours, or to your tender desire. You're going to let them cook to tender. So while that's cooking, we're going to check on our chicken. We're going to go ahead and pull this foil off, check on the chicken, and make sure that it's done. All right, and the chicken is done. It's very tender, but I like for my chicken to have a brownness, so it's not brown enough for me. So we're going to flip it over, and we're going to stick it back in the oven and let it cook to brown. But it is done. It's falling off the bone, but if it ain't brown, it ain't done, okay? So let's stick it back in the oven. I'm just turning it over real well. Look at that, just falling apart. Ooh-wee! Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and put our chicken back in the oven and let it cook to brown. And while our chicken is cooking and our beef tips are cooking, let's go ahead and mix up this mac and cheese. So go ahead and make sure that you rinse your macaroni really well. Get all that starch and residue and everything from boiling your macaroni, or from it being in the box, off of your noodles. And once they are done, we're gonna begin. So listen, I know this ain't no mixing bowl, but we gonna make it do what it do, okay? So let's just keep going. So we're gonna use half and half. And we're gonna also use some heavy whipping cream. So let's get started. We're just gonna go ahead and pour in our half and half and our heavy whipping cream. And then we're going to also add a little bit of seasonings. So we're going to use some paprika, Old Bay, garlic powder, seasonal, and some black pepper. And you can use whatever seasoning you choose. It's your choice. And we're just going to go ahead and put our seasoning in with our macaroni, just to give it a little flavor, you guys. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and mix everything up really well. Stirring, 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 stirring is the key to this meal today. Alright, yeah, we're just going to mix it up really good. And then I like to add a little sour cream. To each his own. It's my macaroni and cheese, so that's what I want to put in it. So we're going to put in a little sour cream, okay? Just a little bit. And then we're going to mix all that up as well. Mix it up really well. And now we will be adding our cheese. And we have Colby Jack, Fiesta Blend, and Velveeta. Now, I don't measure my cheese. I use all of it. So we're going to pour the whole bag in there. We poured the whole bag of the Fiesta Blend in there. And we're pouring the whole bag of the Colby Jack in there also. And I also melted a little butter and poured that into my noodles to help with the mixture, just to make it, loosen it up, and to be able to move around the pot, the ingredients in the pot a little better. And so we're going to continue to mix. And I'm going to add just a little bit of this Velveeta cheese in there also. Okay, now here we have our foil pan that we're going to use. I have already oiled the pan. Make sure you oil your pan so that your mac and cheese does not stick to the bottom of the pan, or use you a non-stick pan. So we're going to get ready to pour our ingredients into the pan. And then we're going to put that in the oven and let it cook till done. And I'm cooking it on a slow cook of 275 degrees. Everything is being cooked slow due to the heat outside, and it's better to cook that way. So instead of doing mixed vegetables, I decided to do some candied yams. So we're going to use the Bruce's yams, and I did pour the juice off them because potatoes, vegetables, things like that, they make their own juice anyway. And so we're just going to pour that off, and we're going to make our own. So these are the ingredients that we're using: brown sugar, cinnamon, vanilla flavor, nutmeg, we have some butter, regular sugar, and honey. So as you can see, I already have a stick of butter cut up in the potatoes. I've added my brown sugar, so we're going to go ahead and add some regular sugar. We're also going to add cinnamon, and you can use however much cinnamon you like. I like a lot of cinnamon. And we're going to use some vanilla flavor. And I'm going to use some honey. Now I will alternate and use just honey, or I will just use just sugar. It just all depends on what I want to do. So today I'm using both sugar and honey. And then we're going to add some nutmeg. Be careful with your nutmeg. If you use too much nutmeg, it will have your dish to have a bitter aftertaste. So you only need just a little nutmeg. And all we're going to do with this is turn up the fire, let it cook. We're going to cover it, let it cook to a boil, and then we're going to turn it down. Try your best not to stir your potatoes because they're already soft and you don't want them to be mushy. And so guys, now we're back with our beef tips. They're looking good. They're smelling good. I'm checking them now. They're tender. Looking really good. So what we're about to do is we're going to make our gravy. So we're going to take some of the juice. So why y'all didn't tell me I didn't boil the water for the rice? I ain't even made no rice. So I had to go back and boil some water for the rice. So we have our water boiling for our rice. And let's get back to making this gravy. So we take some juice from the beef tips, and we're going to add another Lipton soup mix to that, and we're also going to add a little flour. And this is how we're going to create our gravy. Now I do show in some videos that a lot of people use cornstarch. Well, I'm going to use flour, okay? Alright, you guys, so our sweet potatoes have come to a boil. So we're going to turn down the heat and we're just going to let those simmer and cook. Again, do not stir too much because you will make them mushy. They're already soft, okay? Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add in the soup mix. And we're going to add in a tablespoon of flour, and probably not even the whole spoon because you don't want too much flour, because you don't want it too thick, but you do want it thick enough. You don't want a watery gravy either. So we're just going to mix that up really well. Make sure that you mix it up, you guys, because you don't want your gravy to turn into dumplings, if you know what I mean. Alright, so I have stirred it up really well, and I have added the roux to my beef tips. And I'm definitely going to add some more chicken broth. And look at that, it's already thickening up and looking good, and it smells amazing, you guys. Alright, so we're going to cover that up and let that cook down. So let's go ahead and make our cornbread. I like to use Jiffy. We're using 2 boxes of Jiffy. You would need 2 eggs and milk and butter if you want butter. So we're going to go ahead and get our mixture going for our cornbread. Now you use the eggs or to make your mixture rise, and then the milk, or you can use water, but preferably I would say use milk, and you would just measure that to your liking on how thick you want your cornbread to be. Make sure that you stir your cornbread really well to get all of the lumps out of there, or you can use a blender or a mixer, but I prefer to stir mine really good. I guess just because that's the way I cook it, so I just stir it really well. So we're going to pour in a little butter for flavor. So I did melt some butter. We're going to pour that in for flavor, and we're going to leave a little bit at the bottom of the pan because we're going to use the same pan to bake our cornbread in. So we're going to stir that butter in real good, mix it up real well. And now we're going to pour that in our pan and stick it in the oven to bake. And I did bake this on 350. Alright, our mac and cheese is done, you guys. And it baked about an hour. As I told you, we did cook it slow. And our rice is done and fluffy. And last but not least, baby, that cornbread is brown to perfection. If the cornbread ain't brown, it ain't done. It looks amazing, y'all. So let's plate this up and let's eat. I hope you guys enjoyed preparing Sunday dinner with me. Again, I'm Nikki, I'm Nicole, and you are watching Life with NikiNicole. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, love y'all. Bye.
And I made you.